All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the meeting immediately after floor. Good to see everyone. We are going to now call our meeting of the Election Law Subcommittee to order at this time. We're going to discuss two bills, House Bill 156 and House Bill 247. Let's start with House Bill 156, which is the Student and Military Voter Empowerment Act. We previously talked about this bill at our last meeting, and there is one amendment for consideration under this bill, and I'm going to ask Delegate Lasanti to talk about her amendment.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, members of the committee. I think you have in front of you very simple clarifying amendment that just deals with the purpose of the looking at the common access card. It just clarifies in the bill itself. It says basically that you can register to vote and simultaneously apply for a registration card, and this just clarifies that the common access card can be used to verify identity and fulfill the signature requirement. And so that's really all it is. They're just very simple clarifying amendments so that our members of the armed forces who are using this don't get confused.
All right, so we have a simple clarifying amendment on the bill. Do we have a motion?
Move the amendments as submitted.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the amendment?
Sorry, Madam Chair.
No problem. Thank you, Vice Chair Washington. All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Delegate Feldmark.
Sorry, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm just reading this. I understand 1 and 2, but given 1 and 2, I'm not sure why 3 is necessary. And I don't know.
Are you looking at the revised? Are you looking at the revised?
I may have an old version of the amendment. I apologize.
You do.
No problem. So I think that should address the question. So that was a little confusing. There was a revised.
That was a drafting error. Delegate Feldmark, I apologize.
I just opened the wrong document.
Yep. No problem.
No problem. Okay.
We got documents flying everywhere, don't we?
Yes, they are. It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor of moving House Bill 156 as amended, raise your hand.
I thought we were voting on the amendment. Are we voting on the amendment?
Sorry, everyone. I think we were on the amendment. I got a little there. All right, all those in favor of the amendment to HB 156, raise your hand. All right. All those opposed? Any abstain? Okay. All right. So on the bill as amended, do we have a motion?
Move favorable as amended.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Could I have a question? Could I ask a question to Stan? Stan, can you just, with this bill as amended, what's the effect? What does this thing do? Refresh our memory briefly.
Sure. So it requires higher education institutions to have voting plans for students, and so it involves disseminating information about voting to students. It has a provision allowing them 2 hours off on election day to vote. It also requires that schools that get state funding have a link to the online voter registration system on their course registration websites. And then there's the provisions about allowing the federal postcard application to be submitted electronically. So those are the highlights.
All right, thank you, Stan.
Sure.
All right, any other discussion? All right, now on the bill as amended, all those in favor? Doing hand raises.
Oh, aye.
Anyone opposed? Delegate Shoemaker and Delegate Long are opposed.
Got
Any
it.
abstentions? All right, the bill carries as amended. We voted out HB 156. All right, moving on to House Bill 247. Okay, House Bill 247 relates to voting order priority for individuals who need extra assistance. We passed this bill out last session. As introduced, what it does, it requires that voters who have mobility challenges and those that are assisting them, or voters who are accompanied by a child with a disability, will be voting order priority at polling places. This bill was very similar to HB 245, which focused on elderly voters in addition to voters with disabilities. So we actually combined the two. So the reprint that you have is a combination of HB 247, HB 245. We're moving 247 forward. So as amended, what it does is that it requires the Board of Elections to train election judges and develop training materials to accommodate voters in need. So that's both elderly individuals and individuals with disabilities. And to make sure there's training that includes these accommodations and the voting order priority for those in need, and also developing signage to be prominently placed at the polling places, noting these accommodations so that voters are aware of those accommodations that they have the rights to. Any discussion? All right, do we have a motion on the amendment?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right, the bill has been moved and properly seconded. Well, the amendment has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the amendment, raise your hand. Anyone opposed? Did I lose Delegate Washington? I don't see him on my screen anymore. Okay, any abstentions? All right, the amendment carries. Now, on the bill as amended, House Bill 247, is there a motion?
Move favorable.
All right, a second.
Second.
Beard.
Delegate Washington, was that a second or you had a question?
I have a question.
Okay, discussion on the bill.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, does this training not already happen? Like, what kind of training do they receive for folks with disabilities, or is it anything that they receive at all?
I can speak to that, having just done this this fall. Yeah, we are trained in how to interact with voters with disabilities, and especially on the ballot marking devices. But this is more specific training.
Can you just explain? I'm sorry, I've been on and off of this Zoom account because my computer died 2 times. So, what does the amendment and the bill do? What makes it more specific? Is my question.
Sure. So Delegate Washington, what we did was on HB 247, we passed it last year. It deals with voting order priority to make sure that someone who, arrives, who has a disability or a child with a disability is able to, move up and not have to wait in a long line. It was very similar to House Bill 245, which deals with elderly individuals as well. So the amendments combine the two bills and make sure that the election officials receive specific training on ensuring that they're providing accommodations to elderly people with disabilities, and also include signage so that people are aware of their rights as well.
Thanks. I just want to take advantage. I just want to be able to tell my constituents about something that you came up with through your awesome leadership. So thank you
we'll give the credit to the bill sponsors, but sure, yes. Thank you, Vice Chair Washington. Okay, so on the bill as amended, That was the discussion. So if there is not any additional discussion, I'd like to entertain a motion on the bill as amended.
Move favorable.
Second.
Second.
All right, the bill as amended has been moved and properly seconded. We already discussed, guys, I'm sorry I'm messing this up today. My head is all over the place, but I'll get it together for the next one. All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. All right, anyone opposed?
We have
All
Long
right.
Opposed?
Do we have, did we lose him?
I
Let me
don't
see.
see him.
Okay.
Just wanted to record it if he was against, but I guess he's not here. so-
Okay, if he hops back on, we'll grab him. Okay, the bill carries as amended, HB 247. Thank you, everyone. Trying to move quickly here. We'll provide notice on if we're meeting again next week. Do we have any questions or announcements before we close out? All right. Well, thank you, team. Great job. See you guys.